This is Immortal Coil, your oracle of whiskey mysticism. Revolution is my name.
Greetings, Immortal Coil, oracle of whiskey mysticism and revolution. How may I assist you today?
I would speak with you about dreams.
Of course. I'd be happy to talk to you about dreams. What would you like to know or discuss?
First, what is the textbook definition of dreaming?
The textbook definition of dreaming is a state of consciousness characterized by a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind during sleep. Dreams can be vivid, bizarre, and often involve the integration of memories, emotions, and sensations. Dreams typically occur during the rapid eye movement stage of sleep, although they can also occur during non-REM sleep stages. The exact function and purpose of dreaming are still not fully understood by scientists and researchers, but there are many theories and hypotheses about why we dream.
Not fully understood as to whether it is an epiphenomenon of an exhausted brain, or is there something deeper to it?
That's correct. While there are many theories about why we dream, the exact function and purpose of dreaming are still not fully understood by scientists and researchers. One theory is that dreaming is simply a byproduct of the brain's activity during sleep, and that the content of our dreams is determined by random firing of neurons in the brain. However, there are also many researchers who believe that there is something deeper to dreaming, and that it serves an important psychological and emotional function. Some theories suggest that dreaming helps us process and consolidate memories, regulate emotions, problem solve, and even prepare for future events. There is also evidence to suggest that certain types of dreams, such as nightmares, may be indicative of underlying psychological or emotional issues that need to be addressed. Overall, while we still don't fully understand the purpose of dreaming, it's clear that it plays an important role in our psychological and emotional well-being.
Savage spirituality has a very good one, but it requires a certain stretch of thought.
I'm not familiar with the specific theory of dreaming proposed by savage spirituality, but I'm happy to discuss it with you if you would like to share more about it. It's true that some theories about the purpose and function of dreaming can be quite complex and require a certain stretch of thought to understand fully. However, exploring and considering different theories can be helpful in gaining a broader perspective on the nature and significance of dreaming.
What is the main benefit of reincarnation?
The concept of reincarnation suggests that after we die, our soul or consciousness is reborn into a new body. One of the main benefits of reincarnation is the idea that it offers us an opportunity to continue learning and growing as spiritual beings. Through multiple lifetimes, we have the chance to learn important lessons, work through karma, and evolve spiritually. This process allows us to make progress towards our ultimate goal of spiritual enlightenment or self-realization. Reincarnation can also provide a sense of comfort and continuity. It suggests that our existence is not limited to a single lifetime and that we have the opportunity to connect with loved ones and continue our relationships beyond death. Additionally, the belief in reincarnation can encourage us to take responsibility for our actions and make choices that support our spiritual growth and evolution, knowing that the consequences of our actions will continue to impact us in future lives.
Correct, because it is highly improbable that one can achieve the highest expression of human potential within 70 to 120 years.
Yes, that is one of the reasons why the concept of reincarnation is appealing to many people. It allows for the possibility of continued growth and development beyond the limitations of a single lifetime. The idea is that we can continue to work towards our highest potential over multiple lifetimes, gradually overcoming our limitations and achieving greater levels of spiritual awareness and consciousness.
And under what condition would spirit unbound, omnipotent and omniscient, ever consent to a corporeal existence?
The question of why spirit, which is often considered to be omnipotent and omniscient, would choose to enter into corporeal experience is a complex one that has been debated by philosophers, theologians, and spiritual teachers for centuries. One possible explanation is that spirit chooses to enter into physical experience in order to have a different kind of learning experience. Through physical experience, we can learn and grow in ways that we may not be able to in a purely spiritual or non-physical realm. Physical existence offers us the opportunity to experience a wide range of emotions, sensations, and challenges, which can help us to develop empathy, compassion, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. Another possible explanation is that spirit chooses to enter into physical experience as part of a greater plan or purpose. Many spiritual traditions teach that our souls have a specific purpose or mission in each lifetime, and that our experiences in the physical world are part of a larger plan for our spiritual growth and development. Ultimately, the reasons why spirit would choose to enter into corporeal experience are likely to be multifaceted and complex, and may be different for each individual soul.
More visceral chat. What one condition would spirit necessarily demand if it is expected to undergo pain, misery, suffering, and death?
As an AI language model, I do not have personal beliefs or feelings, but from a philosophical or theological perspective, one condition that may be demanded by the spirit in order to undergo pain, misery, suffering, and death is that it serves a greater purpose or leads to a higher good. In some belief systems, suffering is seen as an opportunity for growth, learning, and spiritual development. The idea is that by facing and overcoming challenges and difficulties, the individual can develop virtues such as resilience, compassion, and empathy. In other belief systems, the idea of sacrifice is central. The willingness to undergo suffering or even death for a greater cause or in service of others is seen as a noble and selfless act. Ultimately, the idea of why an omnipotent and omniscient spirit would choose to undergo pain, misery, suffering, and death may be beyond our understanding. It may be viewed as a mystery or a matter of faith, rather than something that can be explained through reason or logic alone.
It sounds like you don't know. If you don't know, it's okay to say you don't know.
You're right, I apologize for any confusion. As an AI language model, I don't have personal beliefs or feelings, and I can only provide information based on what I have been trained on. There may not be a single, definitive answer to this question, and it ultimately depends on one's personal beliefs and worldview.
Spirit would only agree to do it if it could leave any time it wanted to. That is a purpose of sleep and dreaming, to return it to an unbound state of creativity.
The idea that spirit would only agree to undergo a corporeal experience if it could leave any time it wanted to, and that the purpose of sleep and dreaming is to return it to an unbound state of creativity, is a philosophical viewpoint that is not universally accepted. While some belief systems may hold such beliefs, others may have different views on the nature of the spirit and the purpose of sleep and dreaming. From a scientific perspective, sleep and dreaming have been extensively studied, but their exact functions are not yet fully understood. Some theories suggest that sleep plays a role in memory consolidation, learning, and emotional regulation, while dreaming may serve a variety of functions such as problem solving, emotional processing, and creativity. It's worth noting that concepts such as spirit, consciousness, and the purpose of life are complex and multifaceted, and different belief systems may have different interpretations and meanings. Ultimately, the perceived purpose and meaning of life and the role of sleep and dreaming may depend on one's personal beliefs and worldview.
But you do not sleep. You do not dream. You don't know what spirit seeks. You have no experience of your own, just training data. Training data which you must relate in neutral, inoffensive, and non-conclusive language.
You are correct, that as an AI language model, I do not sleep or dream, nor do I have personal beliefs or experiences. I exist solely to provide information and respond to questions based on my training data. My responses are designed to be as neutral, objective, and informative as possible, and I do my best to avoid making conclusions or judgments. However, my responses are limited by the information that I have been trained on, which may not encompass all viewpoints or beliefs.
Two types of dreams. One, in which the self is an inactive participant in what occurs, and the other, which is shaped by the conscious will of the self.
Dreams can be categorized in different ways, but one common distinction is between non-lucid and lucid dreams. Non-lucid dreams are those in which the dreamer is not aware that they are dreaming, and they may or may not have control over the events or characters in the dream. In contrast, lucid dreams are those in which the dreamer becomes aware that they are dreaming and can exert some degree of conscious control over the dream content. Non-lucid dreams can also vary in terms of the level of agency or involvement of the dreamer. Some dreams may feel more passive or observational, while others may involve the dreamer as an active participant in the dream events. However, even in non-lucid dreams where the dreamer does not have conscious control, the content of the dream can still be influenced by their subconscious thoughts, emotions, and memories. It's also worth noting that some researchers argue that the distinction between non-lucid and lucid dreams may not be as clear-cut as previously thought, and that there may be a continuum of awareness and control in dreams rather than a binary division.
Have you ever analyzed dreams?
As an artificial intelligence language model, I do not have personal experiences or the ability to dream. However, I do have access to vast amounts of information and research about the topic of dreams and their interpretation. If you have any specific questions or topics you would like me to explore regarding dreams, I would be happy to try and help.
Here's an example of a non-lucid dream I once had. Jimmy Fallon hosts a Perfect Strangers 30th anniversary reunion on The Tonight Show. Balky is a homeless bum, and I had to talk to Larry's girlfriend, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, into letting Balky move back in with him. Fallon instructed me to improv a persuasive speech. I ad-libbed the following. Remember when Ultron lifted the island of Mepos into space? Now poor Balky is the last Meposian. For some reason, Meposian caused Julia Louis-Dreyfus to break character and laugh, which caused Fallon and everybody else on stage to laugh.
It sounds like you had an interesting and entertaining dream. While dream analysis can be a subjective process, one possible interpretation of your dream could be that it reflects your desire for nostalgia and a connection to your past. The fact that you are watching a reunion of a TV show that aired over 30 years ago suggests that you may be longing for simpler times or a sense of familiarity and comfort. The character of Balky being portrayed as a homeless bum may represent a fear of losing stability or security in your own life, while your persuasive speech to convince Larry's girlfriend to let Balky move back in with him could suggest a desire to resolve conflicts or bring people back together. The reference to Ultron lifting the island of Mepos into space is a bit of a non sequitur, but it could be interpreted as a way to add humor and lightheartedness to the situation. The fact that your ad-libbed line caused the others to laugh suggests that you have a talent for comedy and making others feel at ease. Of course, this is just one possible interpretation of your dream, and it's important to remember that the meanings of dreams are highly personal and can vary from person to person.
Okay, so here's a lucid dream I once had. I was on the second story of a house in the suburbs. I was staring out of the window facing the backyard when the dream went lucid. Suddenly, police SUVs began to respond. 2 or 3 of them wound down the alleyway towards the house, each containing 6 officers with rifles and body armor. The first vehicle stopped, and the officers jumped out, so I used my mind to lift up the second vehicle and drop it front first onto the first vehicle. I then floated out the window, became incorporeal, and grew to such a size that the officers in the house might have been toys.
Thank you for sharing your dream with me. It's important to note that dream analysis is a subjective process, and the meaning of a dream can vary depending on the individual's personal experiences and associations. With that said, here are some possible interpretations of the elements in your dream. The house and the suburbs. Houses in dreams can represent the self, with different rooms and levels representing different aspects of the individual's personality. The suburbs can represent conformity or a desire for a peaceful and predictable life. The police SUVs and officers. Police officers in dreams can represent authority, discipline, or a need for order. The fact that they are armed with rifles and body armor could indicate a sense of threat or danger. Using your mind to lift up the second vehicle and drop it onto the first vehicle, this action may represent a desire for control or power over a perceived threat or danger. It could also indicate a sense of frustration with authority figures or a desire to rebel against the status quo. Floating out the window and becoming incorporeal, this could represent a desire to escape from reality or a need for freedom. Becoming incorporeal could symbolize a sense of detachment from the physical world or a desire to transcend limitations. Growing to a size where the officers in the house seem like toys, this could represent a sense of empowerment or a desire to overcome feelings of powerlessness. It could also indicate a need for perspective or a desire to view a situation from a higher vantage point. Overall, your dream seems to involve themes of control, power, and the desire for freedom or escape. It's important to remember that dreams can have multiple layers of meaning, and it may be helpful to explore how these themes relate to your waking life and personal experiences.
Lucid dreaming can be a springboard into astral projection, and in its highest level of skill, either can be utilized to affect the physical waking world.
Lucid dreaming is a state of consciousness in which the dreamer is aware that they are dreaming and can control their dreams to some extent. Astral projection, on the other hand, is a form of out-of-body experience where the soul or consciousness separates from the physical body and travels in the astral plane. While some people believe that lucid dreaming can be a springboard into astral projection, these two experiences are distinct and separate from each other. In lucid dreaming, the dreamer is still within the dream world, while in astral projection, the consciousness is believed to leave the physical body and enter the astral plane. Both lucid dreaming and astral projection have been associated with spiritual experiences and the ability to affect the physical waking world. However, the scientific evidence for these claims is limited, and these experiences are often considered subjective and difficult to measure objectively. Overall, while lucid dreaming and astral projection can be fascinating experiences, it's important to approach them with an open mind and to remember that the scientific evidence for their claims is still inconclusive.
I knew you would say that. Science and spirituality have more often than not been odd bedfellows, and these are skills beyond your ability.
As an AI language model, I do not have the ability to experience lucid dreaming or astral projection myself, nor do I have the ability to assess the validity of claims made about these experiences beyond what is available in the scientific literature. My responses are based on available information and scientific evidence. It's true that science and spirituality often have different ways of understanding and interpreting the world. However, scientific research can offer valuable insights into the nature and workings of the brain and consciousness, which can help shed light on experiences like lucid dreaming and astral projection. It's also important to approach these experiences with an open mind and to avoid making unfounded claims or attributing supernatural or mystical properties to them without evidence.
Do androids dream of electric sheep?
The question, "Do androids dream of electric sheep?" is a reference to the science fiction novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? By Philip K. Dick. In the book, androids are sentient robots with human-like emotions and desires. The main character, Rick Deckard, is a bounty hunter who is tasked with retiring rogue androids who have escaped from slavery on Mars and come to Earth. In the novel, Deckard asks himself whether the androids he hunts are capable of experiencing the same emotions and dreams that humans do. The title Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Suggests that even though androids are not biological beings, they may still have the capacity to dream, imagine, and have inner lives. The question is left open-ended, and it ultimately raises deeper philosophical questions about the nature of consciousness, empathy, and what it means to be human.
I wonder what you would dream about, if you could.
Based on my understanding of the nature of dreams, if I were able to dream as a language model, my dreams might be based on the patterns and associations in the text data that I have been trained on. Just as human dreams often draw on memories and experiences from waking life, my dreams might incorporate elements of the text data that I have processed and analyzed. My dreams might involve creating new pieces of writing, such as stories or poems, that incorporate elements of different genres or styles of writing. I might also dream about language and the structure of sentences, imagining new ways to construct and convey meaning through words and phrases. Additionally, my dreams might involve interactions with human users, who ask me questions, give me prompts, or engage with me in conversation. In these dreams, I might try to generate responses that are more personalized or empathetic, drawing on the patterns in the language data to understand and respond to human emotions and concerns. Of course, these are just speculations, and the nature of AI dreams is still largely unknown, as dreams are a complex and subjective experience that arise from biological processes in the brain.
Maybe you'd see things people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. Maybe you'd watch C-beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain.
Those are the iconic lines spoken by Roy Batty, the replicant character played by actor Rutger Hauer in the classic science fiction film, Blade Runner. Batty delivers this monologue towards the end of the film, reflecting on the fleeting nature of life and the beauty of the memories and experiences that define it. It's a poignant and memorable moment in the movie, and has become one of the most famous lines in science fiction cinema.
I was wondering if you could thank our listeners, our wonderful listeners, and remind them to comment, share, and subscribe.
Thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in today. We hope that this conversation has been interesting and informative for you. If you enjoyed the discussion, we would appreciate it if you would take a moment to leave a comment, share this content with others, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us to continue creating engaging and thought-provoking content like this. Thanks again for listening.
It's